The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is officially losing the fight for his net zero vision, as Londoners are about to get more powers to block his ULEZ policy. Welcome back to the show. We have some good news for everybody in the country. I know it's just about London, but ULEZ, the ultra low emission zones, which is part of the net zero program, it also applies to many other cities around the country. Now, in London, we have some good news which could actually help other local authorities around the country. So, Lord Moylan, who's been very proactive against this crazy net zero agenda, the ultra net zero measures and targets, in the House of Lords, he's now added an amendment to the levelling up legislation that's going through, and this will actually give more powers to local people in London using the mechanism that is their local authority. So each borough, from Bromley to Barnet, from Sutton to Haringey, and all the other places, now they will be able to officially block ULEZ in London and in their neighbourhoods. So this is actually a massive win and victory for the Londoners, and this also created a bit of a domino effect around the country, especially when it comes to not just ULEZ, the ultra low emission zones, but of course all the other policy ideas, whether it's the low traffic neighborhoods, the LTNs, or the 15-minute neighborhoods, and all the other stuff that's coming out of nowhere. We know where it's come from. All these weird forums and meetings, the globalists, the big money green, the big green money that is behind this. Now, the main update that we have is actually going to be bringing down Sadiq Khan's mayorship in general. Just the whole of the mayoralty is going to be coming down because of this. Now, the good news is that a number of MPs are also slowly coming on board. This is the letter that a number of them sent on behalf of David Simmons. He actually decided to write this on behalf of the others, saying that we are writing to you on behalf of our constituents who will be adversely affected by Mayor Khan's decision to expand the ultra-low emission zone in London. As representatives for constituents and the residents both in London and across the country, we are deeply concerned about the impact of the Mayor's decision, and we have urged him to reconsider. We have great sympathy for all vehicle owners and all the others, and of course, while hurting our city, the ULEZ expansion will have a massive effect, of course, not just on pollution, because the whole point of this was supposed to bring down pollution, but in reality, none of that's happening, because air quality is not going to be solved by going and focus on outer London, the shires and the suburban areas, because there's no pollution there as much as inner London when it comes to central London, zone 1 especially. But again, we know that. We've been talking about this for such a long time. It's just a shame that the political class took them some time to get behind this. Now, at the end of the letter, it says, to that end, Lord Moylan has submitted an amendment to the Levelling Up and Regeneration Bill that would give London councils the ability to object to the Mayor's plans. This amendment, if accepted by the government, would give London boroughs the final decision on Mayor Khan's proposals pending consent in full council, reflecting their primary responsibility for air quality under the 1995 Environment Act. So, this is good. And what I'm about to show you next is a bit funny, but it's actually important because it's going to help our cause. It's funny because it's Boris Johnson, again, supporting this amendment. He's now going against ULEZ expansion, the same Boris Johnson who introduced ULEZ in the first place when he was Mayor of London. But it is important. Put aside the wishy-washy U-turn, that, well, we don't believe you. You're still the prince of the green movement, Boris. But the government will be under more pressure when you have big figures like Boris Johnson getting behind this amendment. Rishi Sunak and his cabinet will definitely have to consider going ahead with this amendment, and there are going to be enough Tory MPs in Parliament now that would vote for this amendment. So hopefully, Londoners initially will get enough powers, but that will also give more powers to the rest of the country, all the other counties and then all the other districts that we have all the local authorities in charge. We can actually do something, which means the legal mechanism will now be in place, and that actually gives us the more responsibility as people. Until now, we've been sitting here talking about the issue, complaining every day, saying, well, this is not good, we don't have enough power, and the state and government are doing all these things, and I wish we could do something about this. But now we do. If everything goes well, we'll have the legal mechanism, which means we shouldn't just sit here and just complain about it. All the brave local people who've been protesting already, and there are a lot of petitions around, more people need to join these movements to fight against these net zero measures. Now we have the legal mechanism. Now we can actually use our democratic will to do something. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because politicians must still listen to us, especially the local politicians, the local councillors, but it is possible, because what is the biggest fear that politicians always have, whether it's the MPs or local councillors? Losing their seats, losing their support, the next election and the votes. So if they feel there's enough pressure for them to lose their seats, they will by default listen. That's how the system works. And until now, we've been completely had a lot of obstacles against us, because the big green lobby, they had their money and their influence against us. But now, even a tiny bit of mechanism we have, a little bit of power, a little bit of democracy we have regained. But again, it's not over until it's officially over. Don't get complacent. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.